It's the end of September 2020. I'm in the western Colorado mountains on a lot that I'm building an off-grid RV pad on. Surprisingly warm up here today, but nice. I'm seated on a rock in the shade. I'm gonna get up. My butt's probably all dirty, but there's my rock. And this, all through here, is a trench that I've dug for plumbing to this cistern. This is a frost-free hydrant. It's going to be where I get my water from when I'm up here. And this is 25 acres of beautiful western Colorado that's bordered all along here by BLM land. And that BLM land is surrounded by, it's entirely fenced and it's surrounded by private property. And so it's landlocked. So no one can get to it, at least not legally and without permission. And I own the only driveway that comes in here. So next spring, after I get all this buried, that cistern tank will be completely gone underground. And right here behind me will be, you can see my truck and propane tank, which isn't going to go there. I'm going to set that and then get it plumbed. But this whole area right here behind me is going to be a concrete RV pad. And it'll be a place where I can take a self-contained RV that's a Four Seasons RV. It has to be a Four Seasons RV. I can plug into propane, use a propane powered generator, and have electricity, have heat, have cooking for probably 2 to 3 years if I'm conservative. And then the most important thing is water. And that's what I'm doing right now. It's 2020. I bought 25 acres in the mountains because things are a little crazy. A place to go. And that's where I'm at right now. That, is my truck. That is an 1,800-gallon cistern that I am right now filling with water before I bury it. Water from a well that's running on a propane-powered generator. Well, the pump that's in the well is running on a propane-powered generator right now. And it's going to help ensure that I have water that I can drink no matter what happens. Let's go look inside. So this is the back side of the cistern tank. And this manhole right here, which I've just gotten finished installing these risers, inside of here is well water. It's filling it up. I just started about an hour ago. It's going to take a long time. I'm pumping probably 3.5, 4 gallons a minute right now. And right there is a pump. This is a float valve. When the tank gets full, that float valve will lift up like so and shut the water off. And that over there is plumbing for the water's coming in. So the water comes in at the bottom of the tank, and then that pump, the well pump, is pushing it through this PVC pipe up that support beam and out right there. And that keeps the water filling at the top, so that if anything ever happens, it doesn't just turn around and run right back out. And then there's another penetration on the tank right there, the one on top, and that goes to this pump. And when I plug this pump in, it comes out over here on the outside of the tank and will pump water to and through that frost-free hydrant. And that's how I'll have water up here on this RV pad that I'm building. Hopefully I'll have it completed next spring. This is a 500-gallon propane tank that I bought. That tank is actually refurbished. It was made in, I think, 1958 or something. But it's refurbished, repainted, brand new valves. And actually, I'll show you how this is going to work. But that's going to be my source of power for this lot up here. So, all new hardware and valves and gauges under the lid. And then right here we have what's called a wet leg. And with that, once I get this thing set and filled, I'll be able to fill my small propane tanks myself instead of having to go trade them in or get them filled at a propane center. So I think conservatively, I could live up here, have cooking heat and power with a propane powered generator for probably 2, maybe 3 years if I was really conservative. This water just got pumped into that tank right there. And I captured some in this little water bottle right here. And this is straight from about 200 feet underground. Who knows how long it's been since this water's seen daylight, but it got to see it for a second. No taste. The best water is the water with no taste, and it's cold. After being pumped through about 600 feet of pipe into that tank in this bottle, it's still cold. 200 feet underground. This is the pump house. This is a few hundred feet from where that tank is. This is the generator that runs the well pump. And the well is actually right here. And it goes somewhere around 200 feet down in the ground. So that's the well. And then there's a pump at the bottom of that well. And the electricals for the pump is run through that conduit. And then out the wall here on the pump house, and I've got it plugged into the generator right now. So eventually what we'll do is enclose this big overhang here on this pump house. Actually has a purpose. The generator and the propane tanks, that's a propane generator, and so it runs on propane, so I can keep a tank up here, and it'll all be enclosed to keep anybody from messing with it or deciding they need it worse than I do. And then here is the inside of the pump house, so the big insulated door that I'm working on right now. It's not done yet. Actually, nothing's really done yet, but This is the inside of the pump house. And so there's the electrical controller for the pump that's down, 180 feet or so down in that well. And the blue tank is a pressure tank. And what that does is when the generator's running, that fills up with water. And it has a bladder in it that has a little bit of air pressure in it and can be adjusted right there. And what it does is it just stores water. And eventually I'm going to have probably 3 of those tanks in here. And they hold about 50 gallons each. So I'll have somewhere in the range of 150 gallons of water that I can get to my cistern tank without even starting the generator. So then there's a little basement down here. And that's the plumbing. There's, it's not super complicated, but maybe more than what you'd think. But one of those lines goes to that cistern tank, and then another one goes to a frost-free hydrant that's down here at the bottom of the lot. And then I've got 2 others that are plumbed out as well. There's also a drain in there so I can drain the entire system in the winter if I want to prevent anything from freezing. But the way I'm designing it is that to my lot, I can keep it charged all the time and nothing will freeze. And then this is the electrical box. And right now, a temporary table where the equipment's being stored. So it'll be pretty clean when it's done. Kind of a mess right now, but that's what you have to do if you're going to have a well without electricity. I'm driving. I won't have cell service here for a while until I get through the canyon and back home, but it sure is beautiful out here.